I'm Anne from Cards or Die, and today I thought I'd speak to you about the game Scoop. It's from 1955 and it's from Waddingtons, who also made Monopoly, loads of other games, and quite a Leeds company, so a famous Leeds company. I'm just going to read you the description on the box because they're always beautifully written. An exciting game for 2 to 6 players. Every player is a Fleet Street reporter, the thrills of rival newspapers competing to be first with the news. An intriguing telephone device is included in the game, which is used to phone the editor for the approval of a story. It will fascinate children and adults alike. Okay, so that's Scoop. As it says, you're a Fleet Street reporter, and your aim is to fill up your front page with different stories and adverts, and the first person to fill up that page calls Scoop, and that ends the game, and you then score, and I'll explain that in a moment. Okay, so the very first job is that we have to choose a newspaper. So you've got 6 to choose from. So you've got the Daily Mail. Turn around, you've got the Daily Mail. You've got the Daily Express. You've got the News Chronicle, Daily Telegraph, Daily Sketch, and the Times. And I'm going to choose the Daily Express because that had Calvin and Hobbes in when I was a kid, which was my absolute favourite cartoon. So, Daily Express for me. So you open it up and you've got your newspaper layout here. You've got your typed form in abeyance here and your cashier's office. So the first thing to do is give each player £2,500 worth of cheques. So you get 25 £100 cheques and you pop those in the cashier's office. Okay, you then get 3 cards from the Scoop pile, and I've got Advertiser's Approval, Star Reporter and Photographer. Okay, so you start with 3 cards in your hand. In front of me I've got all the different stories, so I've got my Scoop pile of cards to draw from. I've got advertisers' announcements, advertising things like the Game of Careers from Waddingtons, nice bit of in-game advertising there. You've got Be Twice the Man with Littlesome sportswear worn by winners. You've got Dinky Toys adverts, Waveney Beans adverts, so loads of different adverts from the time, and they would go on your advert space on your board. Okay, you've got star stories, you've got triple star stories, which you can have 2 of actually on your board. There's room for 2 of those. You've got crime stories and you've got general stories. The really nice thing about all of these is that they're completely written. So we played it and we had really good fun reading out all the stories to each other. So it's really nice, it's a really lovely touch in the game that all of the stories are fully written. Each of these has on the back a value. So your advertisements, you can see, are worth £1,000 each. Okay, your triple star stories are worth £5,000. Your star stories are worth varying amounts, but all quite high value. So you've got 1,600, 1,400, another 1,600 there. You've got £2,000 story there. So all of those are going to make your front page worth more money. And then you've got your crime stories. So you've got £500, £600. So they're all worth, whoops, throwing them around, £400. They're all worth different amounts. And then you've got your general story as well. So 200, 400, 300. Okay, so you can see they're all worth different amounts. So when my board is full and I shout Scoop, we then turn over and we add up the value of the stories on our page to see who's won. You also get a bonus. If you're the first to complete your front page, you get a £2,500 bonus. Okay, so at the end of the game, you're going to add up your bonus if you came first, any remaining cheques that you have, plus the value of your stories. So you can probably see straight away that it's quite an uneven game in lots of ways. We really enjoyed it, and it's really good fun to play, and it's nice because it's so of its time. But in terms of winning and losing, if you finish first, basically you win, like, because of the massive bonus. But it's still really good fun. It's still really good fun to play. One thing that you can do is, before you complete your board, you can swap. So even though I might have a story in general stories, I can take a bit of a chance and I can get another story, have a little look at both of them. So my original one was worth 200, so I'm going to go ahead and swap that £500 one in, and then I just discard my original story. So you can increase the value of your page, but obviously you're trying to keep an eye on what everyone else is doing, because while you're doing that, they may be, you know, getting an extra triple star story in. Okay, so in order to get your stories, you collect 3 cards, and it tells you on your board which cards you need, so it couldn't be clearer. So for your general story, you need a general reporter, a photographer, and a telephone card. And you play those 3 cards and you take a general story. But that's where the telephone comes in, so it's not quite so simple. So I play those 3 cards, and then I have to ring the editor, and I have to check whether my story is going to get approved. So to do that, on the phone card, there is a... let me find one. Okay, so on my telephone card, it says I've got to phone number 888. Okay, so I move the telephone round to 888, and then I slide it all the way back again, and it gives me a randomly generated. So my story was okay. So it wasn't brilliant, but it was okay. So the editor's going to go ahead and put that in the newspaper. So each time you do it, you get a different result. So if we do 581, that's an extra. Okay, your story was excellent and warrants special edition. Receive £200 from each player. Sometimes you just get congratulations, your story was given 3-star status. That means you might get your triple star story there. You might get, at your discretion, you can instruct every paper to go to press and count up. You might get stories syndicated and you receive a bonus of £500 from each newspaper. The one that I got, which was okay, your story's been passed for publication. Or you get these ones, which are scrap it. The editor does not like your story and has not passed it for publication. A cross, which means your story is libelous, you cannot use it. And 3 exclamation marks, which means the editor wants to see you. All of those 3 just basically mean that your story doesn't get published, goes on, your cards go on the discard pile, and you try again. So there's a great deal of luck. Also, you'll notice to finish your front page, you have to get a triple star story. So when we played, one of us just couldn't get that, just could not get the triple stars. It's just chance, isn't it? So you've just got to keep going and keep going. But that does give other people time to change their stories up and get things of more value, I guess. So on your turn, like I say, you're going to try and get a set of 3 cards. So to do that, you can just take a normal card, which is to draw up. So I've got an extra star reporter. So I've got 2 star reporters, a photographer, and an advertiser's approval, which I need for an advert. And I can just carry on collecting cards. Or what I can do is I can pay so that I can put some cards in abeyance, which means that they're there for me to use later, and it increases how many cards I can hold, because it means I can hold up to 7. Okay, whereas normally you've got a hand of 3. So once I've picked up a card, I have to discard one. So I'm going to discard my star reporter because I've got 2 of those. If instead what I think is, well, I'm going to pay 100 and I'm going to put my photographer in abeyance, and then I'm going to pay another 100, so you can pay up to a maximum of 200, and I'm going to pop my star reporter in abeyance. You can see you've got 2 abeyance areas. Okay, you can only put cards in there that go together in a group as per your list here. So you've got your lists here. So for instance, I've got my advertiser's approval. Now I can't pop that in abeyance with a star reporter because they don't form a set. Okay, so if I put those 2 in abeyance, I can now draw up 2 new cards, but I've basically paid for them. Oh, and look at that. I got a scoop card. So that means that I can steal other players' cards that they've got in abeyance. As long as I have 1 card that would go with them, then I can steal. Okay, so the scoop card's really useful. And that's about it, really. That's all you need to do. You need to collect your stories, ring the editor, get approval, hopefully, even better, steal money off other people, and get that front page. So I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. And yeah, give us a shout if you've got any questions. Cheers, bye.